Welcome everybody to this channel of me Henrik on Henrik's TV. Today we would like to find out what is going to be the success of the nation of Malawi in this time of economic problems, and how can we come out of the economic problems that we are having. As a nation, we need to find out the right approach and the strategy which we can use in order for this nation to develop. Currently, the economy of Malawi is poorly performing, and we are dependent on aid. That's so dangerous to the poor economy like ours. That should be depending on aid. Imagine they decide to stop giving us aid. What will happen about this nation? We will be in a disaster. So, in this video, I would like to discuss with you things that I think are very important, which if we do them, the economy of Malawi will begin to grow and the development of this nation will come. Politicians are the ones who are to blame for the economic poor performance of the nation of Malawi, because they have been in government and they have been doing different things which have never given this nation a chance and the power to develop. Like now, we are having politicians who are in government controlling the economy, doing everything they can do, but we see that there is nothing that is working to respond to whatever measures they are putting in place for the nation to develop. This is so dangerous, and we can see that the economy of Malawi is not picking up, and poverty is increasingly getting big in this nation, and we are out of words. We learn out of words. What can we do now in order to solve the problems? But I've come to believe that if a nation is to develop and to become rich and to change the life of the people so that poverty can be eliminated, there should be some things that we can do. Number one, there is nobody who is going to be rich in a poor economy. Let us all be poor and let us work very hard to change our lives. What does that mean? It means that we should have equal status and we should all be focused on one thing. And this is the number one important thing that we should be focused on, to develop the nation and to work together so that we can realize the development. And for that to be done, we should as well have realistic time frame how we can do that, at what time should we want to see things getting better in our nation. All nations that have developed, they've worked very hard. They had realistic goals. They had long-term, short-term plans, and today they're developed. Malawi has been having dreams and visions, but we have never developed. Why? Because we are having leaders who are not walking the talk. They can give us good plans, speak about them, but they don't want to do whatever they're saying, and that's why the nation of Malawi is very poor. I also would like to speak here about what I think is another reason why the economy of Malawi has been failing to perform and the things haven't changed. We should know that everywhere in the world, for the economy to perform and to work, the nation must be busy. What does that mean? It means the country must be producing its own food. The country must be productive. What can we be doing in this country so that we can produce our own food? We rely much on agriculture. And are we doing enough so that we can invest higher on agriculture? Where's the money going? So if there is an investment in agriculture, are we benefiting out of it? We've been hearing about the subsidy program. A lot of money, in billions and billions of Malawi have been invested on a subsidy program, and it has never transformed the economy of Malawi. And we're still poor despite having investment on agriculture through subsidy program. So what should we do? I remember a long time ago, Bingu Mutharika was told to stop doing subsidy in Malawi, but he denied it by saying we cannot change. He was adamant. But today, we're seeing that even though we've wasted our time as well as spent much money on the agriculture through subsidy program, our farmers are still poor. The nation of Malawi is still poor. So what should we be doing? We need as a nation to put much focus on production. We need to be producing a lot of food. That's the only way we can develop and come out of poverty. There's no any nation in the world, I should be honest with you, which is going to develop without investing on agriculture, without having its own food. If we depend on other people to give us food, what if those people stop giving us food? Are we going to die? So these things must be answered. But does it mean that Malawi cannot produce its own food? Whoa, we can produce our own food. We have got the arable land, we've got resources, we've got people who can work as human capital. We can develop this nation. But the problem is there are people who want to be rich in this country at the expense of poor Malawians, and that's very problematic because it's like we don't have the goal. What we want is just to use poor Malawians to make money for you rich people, but that's not good at all. What we can do is that if there are rich people in this country, they must make sure that they work together with poor people, and if you are able to provide resources, financial resources, whatever resources you can provide, so that we can develop together, then that's going to be good. But if you would like to be using Malawians to be like your hoes, to be like your wheelbars, to work for you, and you to just be getting a lot of money and become too rich, this is not how we're going to develop. So I'm here to speak, it's just kind of advice to the president, as well as the nation of Malawi and the government of Malawi, that if we would like to develop, to come out of poverty, let us be producing in this nation a lot of food. And we should also make sure that we have got realistic goals of what we would like to do and how we're going to do that. And nobody else should be used to be like a person who's just, like a wheelbarrow, just working for a politician or somebody rich money, so that you can enjoy yourself, and the people who are being used just to keep on suffering. This is not how we can develop in this nation. I know Malawi can be rich. I know we can end poverty. It is possible. We just want to come together and we just know what we want to be doing so that we can develop. The blame continues going to the politicians because these are the people who have got the vision of the nation and have got the resources that can enable this nation to develop. But the problem is politicians will talk and not do, and they'll steal and become corrupt in the country, losing a lot of money. And the decisions that we are trusting politicians to make about this nation always affect the nation, because they don't look at what people are looking for, but they always want to appease a certain person who is not even the local person, but because he's a financier, is somebody who gives aid to Malawi, who also listen to them, and therefore we kill the economy and we kill the rest of the people in this country because we're not listening to what people are looking for. So the best thing we can do, stop depending on aid. Make sure that we empower local people to be involved in the production and doing any agricultural activities for the nation to grow economically. We should all be busy. Nobody else should be less in this country. We should all encourage one another to develop our nation. There are many, many Malawians who are energetic, courageous, have got the capability to develop, but they're not doing anything. They're idle. We are wasting our time and wasting a lot of energy in this nation because there is no kind of opportunity given deliberately to people to begin working very hard so the nation can develop. Now, it is the time to change. It is the time to change. We are not going to change in 2030. We need to change now. And whatever we've been doing, which has been failing, we cannot do it anymore. But now what we should be doing is making sure that we really are doing things that are going to make sure that the Malawians are the ones who are going to benefit. Let's develop this nation in order for Malawians to develop. Now, I've been saying that if we say Malawi is rich now, these things must be available to Malawians. Any Malawian must have a house which is fully contained. What it means, it must be a toilet inside the house, must be a bathroom inside a house, and it must be a kitchen inside the house, and it must have a Wi-Fi inside the house, and it must have electricity, it must have water. That's the development. Not only that, there should be a fridge, then the fridge should be full of food inside that house. And that is what we call development. But in Malawi, we're not seeing this. Not only people who have got money and the rich in this country, there are very few people have got those things that I'm talking about. But the rest of Malawians, in millions of them, they are not able to have the good living standard. Let us develop this nation. It's ours. If we don't develop it, nobody should develop it. And let's make sure that Malawians are living happily in this nation as they have everything else that is required for them to have a better living standard. Until I come back with another video, have a very good day. My name is Henrik. Bye-bye.